This is Pat's Papers. I'm Pat Kiernan. We'll break out of our usual format today. Instead of going with the big story off the top, we go with the one I like, my favorite story.
Sometimes you spot a story that gives you a whole new perspective on something. For me today, it's the front page story in the New York Times about those plastic trays that you use to round up your food in a cafeteria. The story says colleges are eliminating the trays as a way to cut water use, but they're also finding this move could fight the freshman 15 weight gain. The idea is that students are less likely to overeat in a trayless cafeteria where they can't carry as much. On President Obama's 100th day in office, there are special sections in some papers. The Washington Post notes that it is 100 days down, 1,362 to go in the four-year term. The president on that 100th day is getting some welcome news about his party's majority in the Senate. Alan Specter, the Republican senator from Pennsylvania, is going to switch to the Democratic Party. The Philadelphia Inquirer says Specter's decision puts the Democrats just one vote away from a filibuster-proof 60-seat majority, the first time since 1978. Stephen Colbert is getting the last laugh. According to the Chicago Tribune, there's a new study from Ohio State University. Both conservatives and liberals think the satirical host is on their side. Experts are narrowing in on the source of Mexico's swine flu outbreak, says the Houston Chronicle. Officials looking closely at a village near a U.S.-based pig farm about 200 miles east of Mexico City. A young boy has been described as Patient Zero. Also notable this morning in the online edition of the Chronicle and elsewhere that a 23-month-old Texas toddler was the first American to die from swine flu. And what a day to come to Washington for your new job as Health Secretary. Kansas Governor Kathleen Sebelius was sworn in, as reported today in the Topeka Capital-Journal. The New York Post is calling it surrogate sex in the city. Sarah Jessica Parker and her husband Matthew Broderick will welcome twin daughters this summer, thanks to a 26-year-old surrogate in Ohio. You can stop your illegal downloads now. After 18 years, the 1990s hit TV show 30-something will finally be legally available. It'll be offered on DVD in August, according to the Los Angeles Times. Betty Boop is shooting hoops. South Florida Sun-Sentinel reports in a bid to draw women and children as fans, NBA teams are turning to cartoon character mascots. Another interesting NBA story from the New York Times, which says teams are leading the way in that league with a new generation of stadium announcers in all pro sports. The traditionally reserved announcer is being replaced by someone, as described in the headline, as a cheerleader. Kyle Speller, an example of that, the Denver announcer, who booms out, "That's what I'm talking about," after a Nuggets dunk. To turn around a struggling school, try frisbee. The Seattle Times looks at a school where quirky sports have helped to turn students from different cultures to get past their differences and focus on working together. And finally, have you ever had a Denver steak? Butchers are figuring out new ways to slice a cow to get tasty cuts. The New York Times says the Denver cut could fetch $6 a pound as a steak, far more than the $3 price it would have fetched if it had been ground up as typical into ground beef.
And thanks for joining me today. I'm Pat Kiernan. That's all the time we have for today. We have links to all of these stories on the main page at our website. Scroll down the page to find them at patspapers.com.